Honorable Speaker. I want to comment on that statement that has been sought by the Senator for Kisumu, Senator Professor Tom Ojienda, especially on the extension of the standard gauge railway all the way to Kisumu. What I want to agree with the colleagues who have actually said that it will ease movement of people and goods, and it will even make it is an economic viable project, Honorable Speaker. And since the chairman of the committee, the new chairman of the Committee on Transport is here, Honorable Senator Eddy, and whom I have not had an opportunity of congratulating. Congratulations, Senator Eddy. As you take up on this particular mandate, Honorable Eddy, I thought Senator Kinjua will actually mention that I would wish that you expand your scope, even as you look at the extension of the standard gauge railway from Naivasha all the way to Kisumu. What perplexes the people of Kenya is the fact that governments do not live, they don't live in perpetuity in terms of projects that they have initiated. On this matter of the standard gauge railway, Senator Kenya will tell you that we have a very magnificent railway or terminus at a place called Chaka. We have another one at a place called Olkalau. The railway between Gilgil or Kalau to Nyahururu was rehabilitated. We only saw one train use that railway, and we don't know what became of it. Senator Kenya will also tell you, there was even a standard gauge railway that was done all the way to Nanyuki in Laikipia. But nothing has been done to this effect, or we don't know what became of that particular project. We have a very magnificent railway terminus at Olkalau. We only see it as a white elephant. It was done, it was commissioned, it was opened. Nothing to show for it. The money of the people of Kenya was spent on these particular projects. What became of these projects, Honorable Speaker? Because we cannot just abandon, just because they were started by Uhuru Kenyatta. Nothing is being done to it, Honorable Speaker. And you know, these are capital projects. These are not small projects. These are not the small projects of 1 million chapatis, for example. These are capital projects that, Honorable Speaker, a lot of government money has been pumped on these specific projects, Honorable Speaker. We would want to know, Senator Eddy, as you bring that particular report, we would want that report to be very exhaustive. On the day that we invite the Kenya Railway Service, ensure that these questions do not now come with other senators, Honorable Speaker. Get as many answers as you can so that we're able to serve the people of Kenya better. Asante.
Senator Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would actually like to pick up from where my brother, Senator Methu, has stopped, and that is, Senator Ojienda, thank you for raising that issue. I hope, Mr. Speaker, that when this SGR is going to be laid out, that Kisii will not be forgotten. There has been an announcement which was made by the government that the SGR would actually pass through a place called Nyamira and then go down towards Kisumu. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I really hope that the government realizes that SGR from Mombasa to Nairobi has a bad name. We spent excessively. Nobody knows the details of the agreement. I hope that the government will take it upon itself to even do comparative analysis and look at what Tazara Railway has been given from Dodoma to Moshi. It is important that we compare what our brothers in the East African region have been given, so that then we can look and see whether we are getting value for money. If this project is complete, as a senator of Kisii County, I would be extremely happy, because at least I'll be taking the railway line to Kisii when the Mahiu line, Honorable Khalwale, when it's not working. The second issue I would like to seriously look at, Mr. Speaker, is the question as a statement that has been sought by Honorable Chute. Honorable Chute, with all accolades, this is an important question. Lake Turkana wind power has been generating power from Samburu for the last 7 years. The amount of money they make, nobody knows. The amount of capital investment which was done, nobody knows. There was a standard agreement between the amounts to be shared with the local community under the 30-70 rationale. That hasn't been made very clear. And the information that some of us, Mr. Speaker, are getting is that Lake Turkana wind power is now basically providing CSR services, do toilets, provide one borehole here and there, and yet the amount of land that Lake Turkana Wind Power took is more than 170,000 acres of land. The community and the people in this area have never been compensated since this project started. The owners of this company, it's assumed they are foreigners. I used to believe that the local community at least should have been given even one simple director, or even make sure that some of the children from these areas can be taken to university so that one day they'll take over the running of the project. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, KenGen is now, they want to do a second phase of this project. I believe that this is a very good idea, but how I pray that this project.
Give the Honorable Senator 1 minute to conclude his remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. How I wish that these projects can be open, transparent, at least, Mr. Speaker, not to all Kenyans, not to all senators. We have the Transport Committee. So my suggestion would be, let the government disclose and tell the committee of this House what it wants to do with KenGen, how much it's going to cost, whether it's a PPP. Nobody objects that PPPs don't work. But once they're transparent and accountable, Mr. Speaker, nobody would have an issue as to what project is going to be successful. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I really give a lot of accolades to Honorable Chute for bringing this very important matter. Thank you.
Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, very quickly, congratulations, Professor Tom Ojienda. I thought your thinking is limited to law, but I can see you appreciate business. Mr. Speaker, because of the issue as raised on SGR, the Parliament of Kenya must put pressure on the executive to roll out SGR, understanding it as the new way to expand the economy of Kenya. Kenya's largest trading partner is Uganda. And therefore, if this SGR will go that direction, then we are speaking to the big picture. Mr. Speaker, I therefore want us to please Senator Onyonga in Nyamira and Kisii there, and then the people of Kisumu, fine. But let upon that development ending, it be remembered that SGR must run all the way to Malaba through Webuye and Bungoma. That is the route for doing business, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the executive cannot afford to be doing things half-hearted. The SGR that is currently there is useless. It's a slow thing. We must invest in electric trains. The modern way of transporting goods is guided by speed, and the speed that will make a difference is the electric train. Why we are not developing the electric train, God knows. We are doing technology which, Mr. Speaker, is decades old. We must remain as Kenya on the cutting edge. We do modern things quickly. Finally, Mr. Speaker, governors, you are not doing us a favor. I want to address our good governor of Nairobi. I can see you have totally lost focus. The purpose of the governor of Nairobi is not to feed people. The purpose of the county government of Nairobi is to open up the economy of Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, the governor of Nairobi should not be talking about chapatis. He should be talking about underpasses, overpasses, metros. That is the future. The people you will employ in those areas I've mentioned will feed their children. So when I see him talking about chapatis, I say, this thing of saying that the youth should ascend into leadership is a lie. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But it is true. He's talking about chapatis.
Senator Sotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to make a comment on the statement by Senator of Kisumu, Senator Ujenda, on the extension of the standard gauge railway to Kisumu. Mr. Speaker, Senator Ujenda has raised very fundamental issues as far as this project is concerned. I am aware, Mr. Speaker, some public participation has already been conducted involving even my county as far as this standard gauge railway project is concerned. And I want to say that part of the plan is to extend this SGR all the way to Malaba. But I want to raise a concern, Mr. Speaker, because the plans that are there, the preliminary plans that are there, is that this railway, standard gauge railway, will not pass through Luanda, Maseno, Lela, Luanda route. And I was getting surprised why that should happen, Mr. Speaker, because if you use a different route, it means the project cost will be higher, because it means you have to compensate the landowners along the route. But we already have land, railway land, all the way from Kisumu to Luanda. So I wonder why the Kenya Railways has decided to avoid that route, and they're using alternative route, which effectively it means, Mr. Speaker, that the Kisumu-Luanda portion will be left out of this project. And that does not make any economic sense to us as leaders in that region. So we would like to know, not just the feasibility studies,